still would say 8, just based on the fact that there's continued OWIs all the way up to a 5th.
I'll remind the parties of the factors to consider for exclusion include the lapse of time since the conviction, or in this case convictions, the rehabilitation or pardon of the person convicted, the gravity of the crime, the involvement of dishonesty or false statement in the crime, the frequency of the convictions, and any other relevant factors. So based on that, do you have any argument that it should be less than that?
Less than what, 8?
Well, it'll be less than 7. He has 7 convictions as I count them.
And that's not counting OWI first.
Correct, because it's not a crime. It can't be counted under the statute.
Then it's 7. Should be 7.
All right. Do you want to make any argument about whether any should be excluded under the statute based upon the factors I just read to you?
Well, you already made reference to one of them not being a crime. So that brings it to 8. I don't understand the whole...
well, for example, the last conviction was in 2007. It's now 2022. So do you want to make an argument to the court that perhaps he's been rehabilitated?
I don't want to speculate on the next man's life. But if it's 7 on here... well, I guess it brings it to 7. And whether OWI first is not a crime, it still counts as what it essentially is nowhere to get to 2, 3, 4, and 5 without the first. Looks like 7 to me.
All right, then. Anything further from the state on this?
No, Judge, thank you.
Given the number of convictions, factually, although the first one's not a crime, the OWI first, Mr. Brooks is correct, is from 1993, and without that you don't get the other criminal OWIs. But I would note the record is from the criminal record is from 1997 through 2007. That spans about a 10-year time span. It's now 2022, but there's essentially an agreement by the parties that there are 7 convictions that are listed here. I've looked at the lapse of time since the convictions. I don't know about rehabilitation or pardon, other than it looks like he did complete the earned release program, which would have resulted in a reduction of initial confinement and then converted to extended supervision. I don't see violations of probation listed, meaning that he was revoked. I see some extensions, but that could be for a variety of reasons. But given that there was a pattern with the OWIs, that the last one was a felony, that goes to the gravity of the crime and the other issues, I'll find that for purposes of his testimony that this witness has 7 convictions. He may be asked, have you been convicted of a crime? His answer should be yes. And then the follow-up, how many times? The answer will be 7.
That will have to be told to Mr. Lozano before he testifies, Your Honor. I believe